Good wishes, dear students. In this part, we will understand the factors of production, which is the sub-part of chapter 2. And chapter 2 is the part of chapter 1 only, that is definition of economics and the basic concepts of economics. Now in factors of production, this is taken as the land, labor, capital and entrepreneur. These are the four factors of production which are very important for the production of any commodity. These four things should be there, then only production could take place. What is land? Land is a free gift of nature, such as land, forests, minerals, etc., which are commodity called natural resources. So this is land. Land is immovable resources which cannot be moved from one place to another. While labor is the human effort, both physical and mentally involved in the process of production. So here we will see that the efficient labor, who are known as skilled labor also, are very important for production of any particular thing without wasting the resources of the factors. Now capital is also defined. Third factors of production is capital. Capital is defined as the man-made or produced means of production consisting of such things as machinery, tools, equipment and factory buildings which are used in future production, that is making other goods and services in the future. Now apart from this, the fourth and last factors of production is entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurship is the one who, or the person who is known as entrepreneur, is the person who is taking risk to start a business or to start a production. So he is the person who organizes production, takes important decisions regarding production and bears risk and uncertainty involved in the production. So the reward which all these four factors of production gets, that is land. The reward of land is rent. The person gets by giving his land for the production. To start up a company, if a person is giving his land on rent, or if he is producing the things by his own, by making his own factory in the land, the reward would be rent of the land. Labor reward is the incentives which he gets or the wages he gets. So this is there, the reward of labor is the wages. Capital, whatever the person is investing in the business, that is known as capital, and the reward of capital is interest. Whatever interest he gets from the business, that is the reward of capital. And entrepreneurs, for his risk, gets profit. Whatever risk he is taking, whatever decisions he is taking in the production, he gets the profit from his entrepreneurship. Now we will see prices. Prices, what is price? Price of a commodity is the unit or amount of money that has to be given to get this commodity. Whatever price he has determined, the producer has determined for his goods, will fetch him the cost price and the profit earned by him. When it will be added, he will fix the price of a commodity. So goods like here, which are the gift of nature, are known as free goods and they do not have any price. Certain goods which are free gift of nature do not have any price over it, but those goods which are produced by man, that have the price. Any goods cannot have the zero price, because for the production of any good, all the four factors of production are required, and the reward of all these four factors of production will determine the price of any commodity. Now we will see next topic on page number 24, that is What is equilibrium price? Equilibrium price is the price at which quantity demanded equals quantity supplied. Wherever demand curve and supply curve meets each other, the price of that point, the price which is falling to that particular point, that intersection point, is known as equilibrium price, because after producing more from that point, the producer will get more profit. Now, inflation. What is inflation? This is the business cycle which comes in the business, that is fall of price and the decrease of price. All this is known as the business cycle. It has some phases. First is inflation. Inflation is generally defined as a process of persistent and appreciable rise in the general price level. So it should be persistent. The price should not just increase and then again fall, but it should be persistently increasing, and the rise of the price should be appreciable. That point, that is known as inflation. Again, it is demand pull and cost push inflation. Price rise of a commodity could be due to increase in demand, that is known as demand pull inflation, and the price rise of a commodity could be due to the cost of production, that is known as cost push inflation. Now, what is value? Value of a commodity refers to the valuation placed by a household. Every commodity has its own value, and that value is described or determined by the consumer themselves. For different consumers, different value could be there. But as a whole, the value of a commodity is defined, that is, for the whole market, if the value is increasing, we will say the value of a commodity is increasing, and if for the whole market the value of a commodity is decreasing, we will say that the value of a commodity is decreasing. Now, what is market? In general terms, we have understood that market is a place where producers and consumers meet each other. That could be any place. Now you can see today's world, online marketing is also being done. Online marketing also is being done because that is also called as market, because there the supplier or the producers are meeting their consumers according to the online demand. So that is also known as the market. So market definition is where consumers and producers meet each other. So here you can see that a market means a system or a setup in which the buyers and sellers of a commodity are able to interact and communicate with each other and strike a deal about the price and the quantity to be bought and sold. So here we will see there are different types of market. Two are main: goods market and factor market. Goods market are those markets where goods and services are bought and sold, while factor markets are those markets where factor services are bought and sold, like raw materials are being bought and sold. So the buyers in such market are the entrepreneurs and the sellers are the owners of factors of production. That is known as factor market. But where the finished products are being sold and purchased, that is known as goods market. Now, we will see on page number 26, 2.11 point, that is money. What is money? Money is the exchange rate of trading the surplus goods people have to obtain the other things which they require. Previously, we were having a barter system, that is, the goods were being exchanged in terms of another good. That was known as the barter system, but it was very difficult to implement. In previous classes already I have discussed about the barter system. So to overcome this problem, money was brought into existence. Money could be exchanged easily, money could be saved easily, and there should be no relation that one person should have that particular commodity, then only he could go for exchange. Money is acceptable worldwide, and hence money is the money comes in under the concept of transaction very much, and nowadays also money is the important point of exchange. So anything that is generally acceptable as means of exchange and at the same time acts as a measure and store of value, so that is known as money. Now we will come to understand what is income. Income is a flow of goods and services or flow of money accruing to an individual or all the people in an economy over some specified time. So whatever extra profit the person is getting over a specified time, that is called his or her income. So factor income is the income earned by an individual largely by selling his factor services to firms. Some producers are selling raw materials to other factories for their further production. The income which these producers they get from by selling their factor services, that income is known as factor income. Now what is national income? National income is the value of final goods and services produced by domestically owned factors of production during a given period. So that is known as national income. So whatever income is coming by producing commodities taken together as a whole under the jurisdiction of one's country, that is known as national income. Or you can also say in other words that income per head, when they are joined together, that becomes national income. Here we will see what is per capita income. Per capita income is the national income divided by the population of that country. Income per head will become the per capita income. Now what is saving? Saving refers to that part of income which is not spent on consumption, but that is being saved for the future use. That is the saving. In this you will see individual saving, private saving, aggregate saving, which is given here. Individual saving, that is the individual's or family's income which are being saved for the future uses, that is individual saving. Private saving is then other than government in the economy, whatever individual or family or any firm is saving for their own particular use, that is the private saving. Aggregate saving comes under taking as a whole. Both private and government saving comes under aggregate saving. So investment. Investment is defined as the act of using production resources for the production of capital goods, that is known as investment. Whatever capital is being invested for getting profit or to run a business, that is known as investment. Now here comes the wealth. What is wealth? Wealth refers to the stock of all those assets which are a source of income. Wealth is a stock of goods at a certain time which conform to the requirement of possessing utility, limited in the supply, transferability of their ownership from one person to another, that is the wealth. So here you will see with the wealth only welfare is attached. Welfare is taken to mean a sense of satisfaction and happiness, a sense of well-being among the people. When the person is satisfied by his consumption, by his income, that is known as the welfare. And when that it is taken as a whole, not only individual but taking as a whole society, that is known as the society welfare. Business cycle already I have discussed with you, that is the prosperity part. Peak part, that is the inflation, then recession comes. Recession means the fall in the prices comes under recession. Then it reaches to the very downward level when the price is at very low point, that is known as depression point. After that recovery phase starts. Recovery phase means from the depression, from the lower point of price, again the price starts increasing by increasing of the demand, that is known as recovery phase. and as it reaches to the peak, that point is known as inflation. Now here we will understand aggregate demand and aggregate supply. We have understood the demand of a commodity which a person or the society wants at a particular price. That is the demand, and when it is taken as a whole, means when it is taken as a market demand, it is known as aggregate demand. And to satisfy it, different suppliers will fetch their all product factors of production to produce that particular thing which are in great demand. So according to the factors of production, whatever they will supply to the market, that will be called as aggregate supply. Now basic economic entities in an economy is household, firms and the government. Household is defined as a person or group of people living together who take economic decisions about the types of commodities to be purchased to satisfy the wants of his or her or their family. That is household economic activities, which is being revolved to their particular house. That is known as household activities. Firm is defined as an entity which employs factors of production to produce commodities that it sells to other people. For fetching profit, if any particular business house or any individual is producing to fetch him profit, that comes under the firm. Firms jointly taken together is known as industry. Now the government refers to a group of organization which possess legal and political power and exercise some control over other sectors of the economy. That comes under the government activities. So all these things are given in chapter 2, which is a part of chapter 1, which will come in your examination, online examination, both chapter 1, 2 and because chapter 1 and 2 is the part of chapter 1 only, that is definition of economics. The basic concepts of economics comes under the definition of economics, and chapter 3 I will discuss in my later parts. Okay, so thank you students, and prepare yourself by studying these chapters from your textbook. Thank you.